And we are back live from the Multnomah Athletic Club for the round of 16 men's open matchup between John IGLESIAS and Emmett Peixoto. My name is Dave Vincent. Do appreciate the fact that you've tuned in to the Waterford Crystal World 2009 Handball Championships. John IGLESIAS serving to Emmett Peixoto. There's a quick side out. In the booth with me, we have Dave Fink. And a nice serve right there, a little reverse from Emmett. 1-0.
John IGLESIAS is no stranger to these big matches, Dave. Played David Chapman in the round of 16 at the U.S. Nationals. Actually pushing Dave to a 21-20 second game. He's played Emmett a number of times. Has yet to beat him.
There's a quick point. 2-0.
John actually started to play the game in New York City. Dave is a one-wall player. Prefers four-wall now.
0 serves 2.
You see John wearing the colors of his alma mater, Lake Forest College in Chicago. Just graduating from there in June.
1 serves 2. Referee is Fergal Collins.
There's a skip there from Emmett. John has a very unique delivery on his serve. He's going with the cross-court lob here, so we won't see it. Nice pickup there from Emmett. Nice back wall shot there from John, and Emmett digs it out and re-kills it with his left hand.
Score is 2-2.
see Emmett drive a lot of those balls down the walls rather than going back to the ceiling. Emmett likes to take that ball on the rise and drive it in the other direction, forces his opponents to run across the court.
2-2 is the score here, first game, round of 16.
See Emmett using that left side wall. It is tough to see down that left side glass, Dave, particularly when that ball runs so close to the side wall.
2-2.
That lob serve does not bother John. He prefers to take that ball on the short hop. There's another nice paddle re-kill from Emmett. Emmett actually spent his summer in New York City this summer, Dave, playing one wall, preparing for the one wall nationals. Didn't do so well in the one wall nationals, but won the three wall nationals. He's got a lot of confidence coming in here as the number 4 seed. Taking on the number 13 seed here, John IGLESIAS, now living in Miami Beach. I don't know if he lives on the beach, but
That ball just over the short line. Don't know if it's going to get appealed later, but in case it does.
yes, I thought that ball was short.
You would. Nice
I'm
get
just
from
that
Emmett.
type.
No appeal from John IGLESIAS. 5 serves 2. He hit the light, but no call. John's asking for one.
I'm appealing a bad bounce. Did you see a bad bounce?
Young
Bad bounce.
Fergie Collins up there in the hot seat
Up in the roof.
for Gal.
Score stand, point stand. That's a point, yeah. Okay. The score is 6 serves to 2.
6 serves 2. Fergal not quite confident on how to call for an appeal. Normally the referee will say, I called it good, what is your call? Instead, Fergal says, did you see a bad call, or bad bounce?
Emmett winning 3 points already early in this first game with that left-hand paddle kill.
7 serves to 2.
That's a shot we've seen him develop more recently, Dave. I think he spent a lot of the time this summer learning that shot. For those of us who have been here all week at the World Championships, we've watched a lot of one-wall. You see the top one-wall players using that paddle kill exclusively up in the front court, able to run that ball straight down the line. Also, it's a shorter swing, so it gives you a little bit less time.
More control, possibly. Emmett Peixoto serving now at 7-2, first game, round of 16.
The score is 7 serves to 2.
Emmett with great touch on that lob serve, able to just barely feathered past the line, and he's driving John back with very hard drives down that left side wall.
Emmett looks really good here, Dave. I know that John scored a couple points, but it's like he has a goal right now. Watch what he does here. Just too
Smart
much
shot
power.
there from Emmett.
But so
John had to guess there. He had to think Emmett was going to shoot that ball. Emmett set up for a kill and drove it down the right wall.
9-2 score.
This is a game John is not all that comfortable playing. He has the ability to play the ceiling game, and he'd rather play down low and taking balls out of the air and controlling the front court. Emmett's keeping John up over his shoulders. That's an impatient shot there from John.
I kind of remind you of the returns that we saw from Nadi Alvarado Jr. in 2004 versus Dave Chapman in the finals. Just impatient jumping in. You've seen a lot of patience right now from Emmett. As soon as I say that.
Emmett turns on that ball really well with his left hand. You can see him really turn that shoulder and drive through that shot. That's not a bad return there from John. Gets him in the point. John actually almost missing that shielding shot, and Emmett with a rare air with his right hand.
I thought Emmett would go down the right wall with that. Instead, he went toward the center. I don't know if that was a miss hit, but he made up for it there.
Emmett's really improved his right hand off the back wall in the last year.
Nice get from John IGLESIAS. Double bounce, nope. Trust me, both of these guys can hear the crowd right now, and they're gonna close this one out good. That's a nice shot from John IGLESIAS.
The crowd really appreciating that tremendous action.
Two serves 11.
John won that rally, but we'll have to see how long that 47-shot rally affects him. Emmett seems like he's sucking a lot less wind than John right now. They both hit the ball an equal number of times. There's a nice get from Emmett.
I agree with Emmett on this.
Looked like Emmett actually appealed a hinder call there, which is not actually, you're not actually allowed to do that, Dave. That's a subjective referee call. You're not allowed to appeal a hinder ball. Seems like Fergal might be a little bit confused. We can hear what John's saying, but you know that he's arguing that that should have been a point for him.
And he gets it back.
Let's watch this very unique delivery from John. You see how he actually turns that left shoulder way behind the ball after he drops it.
Emmett Peixoto calling a timeout here after just 2 straight points from John IGLESIAS. It's 11-4 in favor of Emmett Peixoto. First game, round of 16. Earlier today was Paul Brady defeating fellow County Cavan mate and best friend, sparring partner, Mike Finnegan. 2 games to 21 there, and Paul won both of them, 21-9, 21-9. I don't know if you caught that game, Dave, but Charlie Shanks won his match to advance to the quarterfinals, and then Robbie McCarthy defeated Fergal Collins 21-12, 21-12.
Robbie McCarthy, extremely strong young man.
Hits the ball really hard. You haven't seen him play much, and he has strength. 4 serves 11 here, first game. John IGLESIAS serving. Wow.
That's John's 3rd ace in a row.
I only said 5. Relax. I'll call it. Score is 5 serves to 11.
Nice kill there from Emmett. John actually winning his match yesterday against Irishman Brian Carroll 11-10 with the tiebreaker. Thrilling match, close throughout. That's a nice shot there from John. John mishitting that ball. It almost rolled out. Emmett able to pick it up, and John comes in there with his right fist, the hammer, drives it down the left side wall.
5 serves 11. Make that 6-11.
That's one of those in-between bounces there, Dave, where you're not sure if you should let that ball come off the back wall or back up. And Emmett chose to try and take it on the rise, mistimed it.
Nice serve right there from John IGLESIAS. Round of applause from this educated crowd out here. Got the world's best players and best audience. They all seem to know the right time to clap.
It's
7
just too
serves
bad
11.
they can't get the best announcers.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
That's a nice spin there from John with his left hand. saw Emmett playing with such a purpose there in the beginning of this first game, surged to an 11-2 lead. Now it looks like John is executing his plan, which is to keep Emmett behind him, drive him back, and shoot when he has the opportunity. He's closed the gap here, Dave, to 8-11. That's 6 unanswered points.
John's also foot faulting on every serve, but I guess it really doesn't matter.
Well, that's something our referee should be looking for.
Oh, we have a good angle here. 11 serves 8.
11 serves to 8. Sharp.
That looked like an ace serve to me.
Right. Right.
For those watching at home, Dave, or even in their office, very difficult for the appeals people to hear the referee because our microphone is not working. So there's a bit of confusion every time that you ask for an appeal.
Okay. Second time out.
Emmett actually serving a Z serve there in his second serve. John takes it out of the air with the right fist. Came over it a little bit and drove it down the left wall.
Watching the
John IGLESIAS serving at 8-11 when we return. John actually entered in the big ball pro singles here at this event. He's seeded 4th. He'll be playing legendary big ball champion Rookie Wright in the semifinal should he advance. Emmett entered in the doubles, originally scheduled to play with his co-national champion partner Dave Chapman. Dave Chapman pulling out of the doubles, ended up playing one-wall doubles and losing in the finals of that. So Emmett will be playing with Alan Garner. They'll be the #1 seeds when the doubles commences on Thursday.
Score is 8 serves to 11.
8 serves 11. John IGLESIAS first game serving to Emmett Peixoto.
John's had a couple of real good chances to end this rally here.
Wow.
And he ends up winning it with a perfectly placed ceiling shot down that left side wall. That's great patience from John. His game is maturing with each event.
9 serves to 11.
9 serves 11. You're right, that takes a lot of patience to go up to that ceiling up there.
Particularly when you've had 2 or 3 real easy setups. There's those great hands from John.
That's part of that one-wall training. Thinking offensive immediately, John is. Nice try right there. Double bounce, though, called from John IGLESIAS. Side out, 11-9. Emmett Peixoto serving here.
John's playing at a pretty frantic pace here early in this first game. He's been all over the court.
11 serves to 9.
Nice shot right there from Emmett.
It's a nice 2-wall defensive shot there from John. Nice adjustment there from Emmett. Looked like that ball was going to catch the sidewall first and pop out to the middle of the court. Caught that front wall first and slid just a little bit. Emmett light enough on his feet to make that adjustment and end the rally there with a right-hand kill.
12 serves to 9.
Thought I heard Fergal call 11-9, but I also saw Fergal change the score to 12. So it's somewhere between 11 and 12 is the score. Nice get, not going to make it though.
See John running all over the court there. We're actually using laser technology here this week, Dave, and Gene Casamoto telling me that John IGLESIAS has run 415 more steps thus far in the first game than Emmett.
So she calculates steps too.
Well, that's calculated by the lasers. She just transfers that data over to the webcast booth. There's a unforced there from Emmett. That's his favorite shot, that left-handed kill.
Second timeout, John.
John taking another timeout here. We haven't even gotten to double digits on his side yet. 13-9 is the score. You're watching the 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships live from the Multnomah Athletic Club in Portland, Oregon, the great Pacific Northwest, with yours truly, Dave Vincent, Dave Fink, and what's his face back there, Jeff Kastner, who is doing all of the engineering and film work. He's actually the nuts and the bolts behind the operation. Jeff Kastner is.
Some people would say that you're the nuts. Or, wait, oh, that's a different.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah. But Jeff Kastner's the one. He does all the work behind the webcast booth. We appreciate what he has done. This event brought to you by Waterford Crystal, the World Handball Council, the United States Handball Association. I want to thank the Multnomah Athletic Club and the City of Portland for helping out these World Games of Handball. And a live feed coming to your computer via Nifty TV's special little video skin that you see on your computer there, streaming with the World Players of Handball online live at WePlayHandball.com. Timeout. Back in, side out, 9 serves, 13. John Iglesias in the Lake Forest red shirt. You know Don Quinlan and Mike Dow watching John Iglesias and his family in Florida, too. And then, of course, Emmett Peixoto, his family. Double bounce.
Nice kill there from Emmett.
Emmett's family, James Peixoto and Margie back in Watsonville, and brother Seth, and sister Courtney actually courtside watching her brother play here. And if I had names of other people that were watching, I'd just start running them all down. 13 serves 20. First game.
Actually, 13 serving 9.
I said 20, didn't I?
It's a critical point here in this first game for John. John's made a nice comeback from 11 to 2. Actually scored 6 in a row and 7 of 9. Now found himself trailing 14 to 9.
Sounds a lot better than the 20 I tried to give him just a couple seconds ago. Sounds better for Emmett, that is.
Emmett actually overpowering John there. I don't think John was expecting that hard one-wall drive into his body.
I'd have to say, though, Dave, that John's game has improved tremendously since the last time we watched him.
Well, we did see John push Dave Chapman to an 11 or to a 21-20 second game at the Nationals. So John's not afraid to mix it up with the top dogs in this sport. It's a nice fly kill there from John.
You and I stepped on the court with John Iglesias back in St. Louis a while back with Emmett Peixoto and Dave Chapman, and he was completely a different player back then. Now he's advanced probably like 3 classes since that day. Maybe it was just a bad day. Score 9-15.
First times in the last 6 rallies that we've seen John able to actually step into that ball, get behind it and step into it. Emmett's had John off balance in this latest run. Emmett surging to that 16-10 lead here.
15-10 is actually the score, and it's a 2-minute timeout for a glove change. Now, besides Emmett having that ability to get a ball, which you know as well as I do that he's one of the top 3, if not 1 or 2 in the nation of, actually in the world, of being able to retrieve, and he's always being knocked for how good he is at that. What are some of the other positive traits that Emmett brings to the table?
Well, Emmett's got a really great all-around game. He's able to play the slow game with the ceiling. He's got excellent touch to the ceiling with both hands. He's also extremely offensive and aggressive when he needs to be. He's able to take the ball out of the air with both hands and roll it out. He's also very capable off the back wall. We've known for years that his left hand off the back wall is his best offensive shot. We've seen him develop his right hand, which is actually a stronger hand, into being extremely proficient off the back wall as well. And, you know, I think Emmett will tell you probably the weakest part of his game is his serve, but he doesn't give you an offensive opportunity on his serve, but he doesn't win a lot of free points with his serve either. He likes to lob serve and get the rally started, forcing his opponent to hit a shot either to the ceiling or some kind of shot that is going to give Emmett an opportunity to dictate the rally.
And then when you look at John Iglesias, you've played alongside of him, you've watched him play. What are you seeing about his game that's...
Well, John's become a lot more patient. That's really what held him back in the past. We've seen John have some great wins in the past, actually beating Charlie Shanks and pushing Sean Lenning a number of times, 3 times actually, to a tiebreaker. John never really had the patience to work a point as much as he needed to against the top players. There's certain impatience that can work against some of the lower ranked players, but if to beat these top players, every shot has to have a purpose.
Does patience equal confidence?
A lot of the times it does. You have to be confident enough to reset the rally when you're out of position and know that you're going to get another setup later in the rally.
10 serves 15. This would be absolutely a huge win if John could pull out game 1. Of course, he has a long way to go. I mean, these 10 points that he had to score, he really had to earn them. Emmett's only 6 points away from winning in the game.
Well, let's not forget, John served 4 consecutive aces. If he can get on that sort of run again, he's right back in his first game.
And Emmett's been really getting most of his points off of shots like that, the ones that are sliding this left wall.
Very difficult for John or for any player to spot Emmett an 11-2 lead. You're basically saying that you have to score 19 before Emmett scores 8 to win the game once you spot him that 11-2 lead. Emmett frustrated with himself with that miss. Beautiful shot there from John. John really took his time on that left-handed kill. He let that ball come out from the side wall. He knew he had Emmett pinned on his right. Just had to drive that ball down the left wall, which he did brilliantly.
11 serves, 15.
11 serves, 15 here. First game. John Iglesias.
Here's the setup for John.
He elected to take that with his left hand, and he gets the pass shot.
Well, John realized that had he taken that ball with his right hand, Emmett would have obtained the court position. John had Emmett blocked out. That's why he used that left hand there and drove that ball down the right with Emmett on his left. That's a smart play.
Nice serve right there.
Emmett picks it up.
It's going to be a
setup for Emmett. It's a good shot there from Emmett.
That was a really good serve from John that Emmett just picked up off the back wall, too. 15 serves, 2 first game. That's 15 serves, 12. I'm calling it like your practice games back home. 5 serves, 2.
That's a nice shot there from Emmett.
Emmett's just developed that fist shot, Dave.
He's been working on that shot for a couple of years. That's actually a right-handed fist re-kill.
I remember Emmett was about a 3-year veteran or 4-year veteran on the Pro Tour, and he still didn't have a fist shot. And he told me one time, I don't hit fist shots. I don't know how to hit them. And now all of a sudden, you've seen him do it a lot.
I think a lot of that comes from being an all-around player. Emmett plays all 3 codes, 1-wall, 3-wall, and 4-wall. Certainly you need your fist in 1-wall and 3-wall. He's brought that fist shot to the 4-wall.
But at the age of 24, kind of late in the game to bring that shot in. 12 serve 16 here. Wow, that's a good serve right there.
Fergal called that ball short.
Okay, call stance.
I thought that ball hit the line.
You see John breaking over the top of that ball, reversing it to keep it onto the floor.
Not a good second serve there from John. Right into Emmett's strength. And Emmett controls the rally. John actually trying to hit a 2-wall serve to Emmett's left. Emmett tees off on that ball. That's his bread and butter, as you know, Dave.
16 serves 12.
16 serves 12.
Nice shot there from Emmett.
Score is 17 serves 12.
17 serves 12 here.
See Emmett going to a drive serve now. That's a miss hit. You see a lot of guys let that ball come off the back wall, Dave. Emmett steps in and drives that ball out of the air. I don't think John expected that.
It's actually going to be a replay, though. Kind of surprised by that myself because John came up on Emmett while Emmett was taking that shot. And if anything, you could say it's an avoidable the other way around.
I wouldn't call it an avoidable. I would just call it a point.
Which is an avoidable.
Well, I didn't think John had a chance to get it, not because it was an avoidable, just because he didn't have the right position.
There's going to be a setup here for Emmett. Nice rally right here from the boys. There's a side out.
That's a ball that Emmett probably gets without that left side glass. You lose it for that split second when you're coming into that wall.
John IGLESIAS asking for a 2-minute glove change. Fergal not giving it to him. And it's just so clear that John's gloves are wet, especially his right hand glove all the way through the palm. I don't
Looked
know
like that was going to be an ace. Emmett picks it up. That's a nice shot there from John.
Nice get from Emmett, but the crowd enjoys it too.
John played a very nice point there. Emmett just sticking his hand out, able to get enough on that ball to roll it out into the left corner.
Score is 17 serves to 12.
17 serves 12 here. First game going to 21.
Nice fly kill there from Emmett.
Like that 18-12, you're watching the Waterford Crystal 2009 World Handball Championships. Multnomah Athletic Club brought to you by the World Handball Council, the United States Handball Association.
Emmett continues to put the pressure on.
Nice get from John IGLESIAS. This is going to be a setup for Emmett. There he goes with his left hand. John now re-kills it, and the crowd enjoys it. Even Emmett enjoys it. It's a lot of work for a guy that has 12 points. He's fighting out there, Dave.
Score is 12 serves to 18.
12 serves 18. John IGLESIAS serves to to Emmett Peixoto. Now a quick towel wipe down right there in the server's box.
Veteran move there from young John IGLESIAS. He's been around on the pro tour though, Dave. He's played pro handball for about 3 to 4 years.
Well, as you know, anytime you get into the court and play against Dave Chapman, you kind of get a lesson in how pacing of the game works. And John certainly had a battle with Dave at the pro stop where he scored 20 points, almost forcing a tiebreaker. And he's obviously watched the best players play, and matched up against him as well. This helps out a guy like John, too, playing against Emmett in a stage like this. I mean, can it get any bigger than this, Dave?
This is about as big an arena as we've seen.
12 serves 18.
Fans packed in behind the back wall, the side wall, and also up top here.
No contact call. Kind of halfway surprised Emmett wanted that to be called over because John has that hot serve. And Emmett still had John kind of pinned just a little bit.
John hits mostly a natural down the left, hops that ball into the side wall. That was a nice second serve there from John. Unfortunately, makes a hander. That's a tough ball to track when it hits the floor and the back wall and the side wall.
Now Fergal Collins gives John Iglesias the chance to change those gloves.
He had to really lobby for that glove change.
Well, I was going to make a comment earlier when Emmett asked for the glove change, why Fergal wouldn't force John Iglesias to change his gloves. And I was going to ask you, does a referee have, if he sees it, when you're up there, do you have a checklist when you're the referee and say, if one guy calls for a glove change, or if you see a shirt change, do you also immediately look at the other player? I see some referees that will say, let me see your gloves. In this case, John Iglesias' gloves have been wet for quite some time, and the referee wouldn't grant him that glove change.
That's certainly something a good referee should inquire about each time one player is forced to change their gloves. You know, in Ireland, the pace of play is a lot faster. There's a lot less wiping the floor, and there's a lot less glove changes. I think Fergal's a little bit more reluctant to grant those glove changes. He can see, just like we can, Dave, that John's looking for a timeout. Doesn't want to bail him out with a free 2-minute timeout if it's not necessary.
You're watching the Waterford Crystal 2009 World Handball Championships. Of course, brought to you by the United States Handball Association, sanctioned by the World Handball Council, and the Multnomah Athletic Club and all the handball committees up here that have make this a huge success, plus all the volunteers in the city of Portland. Nifty TV giving us the live feed off of their special video player, brought to you by WePlayHandball.com. That's the world players of handball. Yours truly, Dave Vincent, along with Dave Fink and Jeff Kastner, giving you these games so you can watch them from the comfort of wherever you are. And hopefully you're comfortable wherever you're at. I know Jeff Kastner is comfortable sitting in the pilot seat.
All of us, Dave, had an opportunity to watch the top one-wall players compete for the World Championship the last 3 days. So many of the four-wall players were upstairs watching that action. Joe Kaplan actually winning the men's open, and Tracy Davis winning the women's open of the World One-Wall Championship. Now you see a lot of those top one-wall players down here in the four-wall court checking out some of this action. We see little rookie there in the front row, who is seated second in the singles big ball division here at the World Championships. Also see Willie Polanco, who's the current national one-wall small ball doubles champion with his partner Pee Wee Castro. Actually won the World Championship with Pee Wee yesterday, defeating Joe Kaplan and Dave Chapman in an 11-7 tiebreaker. Hopefully we'll get a chance to watch some of that action, Dave, as the week unfolds. That big ball division starts today.
12 serves 18 as that 2-minute timeout that actually took 3.5 minutes is now over with. John almost gets that back to the front wall. Takes a lot of power to be able to punch that ball up with the backhand.
John lost his concentration a little bit during that timeout. It can be difficult to maintain your momentum after such a long break.
We saw earlier today there was a timeout called from your partner that you were playing. You just stayed in the court. Partner went out there. It was during a big long run that you had, so I guess there's some rhyme to reason to that. I forget what your duty is in there.
Emmett tries to fist kill that ball there from about shoulder height. Looked like the right shot. Just came over it a little bit too much and skipped it.
13 serves to 18.
13 serves, 18, first game. John Iglesias trying to get his footwork right here.
There's that fist from Emmett. That ball popped up off the side wall. John's frustrated with himself that he was unable to pick that ball up.
18-13.
Here's a big setup for Emmett. John just barely misses that ball by about a half an inch. Caught that ball a little bit behind himself. Good ceiling shot there from Emmett.
19 serves 13. You see, after this time, the quick side out here, that Emmett is one of the only few pro players that serves that lob serve from the middle of the court. You recall what his philosophy is on that, Dave?
I've heard him say that he just feels more comfortable. He's able to put the right spin on that ball to make that ball come down a little bit softer and stay off the back wall.
Score is 13-19. Server of record is John Iglesias here, still wearing the red shirt. Nice get, though, from Emmett. John didn't even see it. That ball could have been called a screen, Dave.
Emmett kept this rally alive 3 times, and it looked like it should have been over.
Look at that shot right there from Emmett.
Now Emmett gets the opportunity to win this rally. Nice get there from John.
There's Emmett. That's the one that we've grown to know and love. He recognizes it.
Score is 19 serves 13.
19 serves 13. There's another setup.
Looked like that ball was going into the ground. Looks like we're going to play a replay there. It looked like Emmett mishit that ball and it was going to come up a couple feet short. No argument, though, from John. Maybe it's just our angle, Dave.
Things do appear a little different from up here, but you're right.
We are up here on the left side wall, about 1 story up, just about 3 feet from the front wall.
Score is 19 serves to 13.
19 serves 13. Nice get from Emmett Peixoto. We're talking about that get ability. He's won the last point off of gets, and then that happens, and Emmett recognizes it. Emmett's having fun out there right now, Dave.
Maybe too much fun. This game is not over. Emmett leading 19-13. We saw John put together a 6-point run pretty quickly there early in this first game.
And if he does that again, it's going to be tied. You're watching game number 1, men's round of 16. Emmett Peixoto from Watsonville, California versus John Iglesias, residing now in Florida.
Actually living in Miami now with his family.
It's the Waterford Crystal 2009 World Handball Championships, Portland, Oregon. Multnomah Athletic Club, sanctioned by the USHA and brought to you in part by the World Handball Council. Actually, I think I had that in reverse. WHC is sanctioning this event.
John choosing to pass those balls, those re-kill opportunities, rather than shooting them. Emmett tracking down every pass John's hit thus far. John has that great underhand kill that I've seen him use quite a bit in the front court. He hasn't used that with any frequency here in this first game. That's a nice get there from John.
Here's the setup. Emmett's going to take this with his right hand, Dave. Is that?
Nice get there from John. That's a very tough shot right there. It looks like a bad air, but the spin that that ball comes down with actually makes the ball die as it hits your hand. That ball almost will always go straight into the ground. You see John moving just before you hit that ball. What happens there, Dave, is that ball gets behind you. End up shanking it. Now it's game point here for Emmett, 20-13. Emmett tries to go for the ceiling, misses it.
There it is, the first game going to Emmett Peixoto. Nice showing from pudgy John IGLESIAS, but Emmett Peixoto pulls it out. 21-13 score here. We're going to take a timeout. Men's round of 16. You're watching the 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships live from WePlayHandball.com. Brought to you in part by the World Handball Council and the United States Handball Association. We'll be back in just a few. You stick with us.
Okay, lads. Are you tired, John? You're not tired. Okay, let's go. Emmett to serve first. 1 second. Okay, the score is 0-0.
Second game now underway, 0-0. Emmett Peixoto wins the first one, 21-13. Peixoto versus IGLESIAS. Johnny Churches. Nice get from Emmett Peixoto. Gets the point there, fights it off. Johnny looks at him. That's out of respect, though, Dave.
Emmett picked up 3 balls that looked like perfect shots from John. We see Emmett going to a power serve now.
You see John having to stay back in that lower 3/4 of the court while Emmett's up there dictating the action from the short line. John never even stepped out of that whole area back there.
That's what a good serve and a fly kill will do. Keep your opponent behind you. You should win the majority of the points with your opponent behind you. Emmett knows that.
1-0.
Nice kill there from John. Lets that ball come around the revolving door. Takes it with his right hand and kills it off the middle of the front wall.
It's a towel timeout now. 1 serve 0. Actually, 0 serves 1. And you'll see a lot of opponents do this when they're playing with Emmett. As always, Emmett sweats a lot, and he does it right there in the middle of the court.
Okay, 0 serves to 1.
0 serves 1. Second game. 2 games to 21. Tiebreaker to 11.
Let's see if that.
That's a broken ball.
I don't have no.
And the referee does not have a second ball, although they found another can up in that referee area. 21-13 is the score of the first game that Emmett Peixoto just defeated John IGLESIAS with, and now they're here in game number 2 with a quick broken ball. It's the World Handball Championships, Multnomah Athletic Club, 2012. It's going to be in Dublin, Ireland. And last time we were in Edmonton,
0 serves to 1.
Canada.
Tremendous lineup of matches later today and into tonight, Dave, that we'll be showing live here on the webcast. A lot of intriguing matchups, Dave, later today that actually could potentially be final
1 serves to 1.
matches here at the World Championship. So many great players. Great kill there from Emmett.
Score is 1 serves to 1.
Emmett fisted that ball with just enough reverse to straighten it out down that left side wall.
One of those matches is Owen Kennedy versus Alan Garner. That is going to pack this gallery in Ireland. Owen Kennedy is a national monument, or he's becoming one. And And
in the United States, Alan Garner is the blonde bombshell. So you've got a clash between a monument and a bombshell.
Good point.
Emmett really getting into a groove here. I know it's only 3-1, but Emmett looks extremely comfortable here in the early parts of this second game. He took the first game 21-13. We saw Emmett play brilliantly at times in that first game and also make a few mistakes during some patches there in that first game.
Nice get from John again. Just threw it up there. Emmett's just powering this ball right now. There's some strength from John Iglesias. Now John's kind of dictating the flow here.
Nice kill there from John. It takes a lot of strength. Off balance with that ball coming at you 70 miles per hour. It actually pushes you back. John able to blast that ball into the left corner. You see John playing left to left there with Emmett. That's not a combination that John's going to want to play because Emmett's left is quite a bit stronger than John's. A little bit more versatile as well. That's a nice fly kill there from John, but Emmett digs it out. It's a perfect ceiling shot.
And then Emmett does that.
With that right hand, kills it nearly flat down the right side wall.
4-1.
Looking for an avoidable there. Could have been called. John crossed in front of Emmett on a pretty easy setup. Let's see Emmett here.
He's actually asking about that right now.
Fergal. I think Emmett's got a point here. I don't think John necessarily did that intentionally, but it doesn't have to be intentional to be an avoidable. Looked to me like an avoidable could have easily been called there. Fergal chooses not to call it. John with a short serve. John trailing 1-4 here in the second game, losing the first 21-13. Both of these guys playing Irish players yesterday, Dave. Emmett beating Colin Jordan 21-15, 21-9. Emmett John Iglesias beating Ryan Carroll in an 11-10 tiebreaker. John arguing here, he wants a call. Thought that he was screened on the second to last shot of that rally.
I agree with John Iglesias there too.
That's a nice kill there from John. He looks up at the referee and
I agree with what John was saying there. Even Emmett kind of gave up after that congestion took place, and Emmett decided to play through it because that's what you have to do, and he was awarded.
Short serve there from John. Dave, we've mentioned John's match yesterday. How much do you think that takes out of him just 24 hours ago playing an 11-10 tiebreaker?
Nice shot.
Beautiful shot there. Maybe the shot of the day there. You see John comes around on the outside of that ball, puts that side spin on it.
Now it's another point here for John Iglesias.
That's a rare hand air there from Emmett.
3 serves 4. We're watching the World Handball Championships from the Multnomah Athletic Club, Portland, Oregon, in the Great Pacific Northwest. My name is Dave Vincent, along with David Fink. That nice shot right there from Emmett Peixoto had John behind him, Dave.
Emmett executes the kill there, but technique a little bit off on that back wall shot. like a strange bounce there. Play through it.
Point.
How difficult is that back left side wall and back glass as the ball meets and toggles around there, Dave?
It's definitely a difficult, challenging court to play on. Not only do you have the glass, but there's a lot of people also moving around there. And as hard as you try and watch the ball, you do notice the different colors and the movements as you're tracking that ball, particularly as it hits the floor of the back wall and the left side wall. That's a nice serve, but a great fist return there from Emmett. That's frustrating for any server to hit a great serve and be put in that 39-foot area up over their head.
Look at that get from Emmett Peixoto right there.
John actually claps for Emmett there.
That was a nice shot from Emmett, who kept that rally alive. As much as John is actually hitting pretty good shots, Emmett's digging them out. 5-3 is the score here.
Second serve. 5-3.
5-3.
John a little bit off balance there.
6. 6 serves to 3.
6 serves 3.
Shot. Second serve. 6-3.
Referee called hold it before all of that took place. 6-3 is the score here. Second game. First one went to Emmett Peixoto, 21-13. Earlier today was Paul Brady defeating Mike Finnegan in the round of 16. Shanks over Dave Fink, and then it was Robbie McCarthy over Fergal Collins.
Score is 6 serves to 3.
For those of you wondering why it wasn't Sean Lenning playing Robbie McCarthy today, that's because Sean Lenning, diagnosed with strep throat upon arrival here at the World Championships, forced to pull out of the event. Fergal Collins took his place as the lucky loser. He was the last qualified player to not make this elite field. It's a nice pass kill there from Emmett.
Timeout. 7 serves to 3.
7-3, timeout, 1 minute called from John IGLESIAS. You're watching the Waterford Crystal 2009 World Handball Championships live at WePlayHandball.com, brought to you by Nifty TV and their fine little cool video skin that is on your laptop there, I guess is what you would call it. The United States Handball Association sanctioning the event alongside the World Handball Council. All the work that they've done to bring one of the very best world tournaments that I have witnessed. Over 1,000 people here. 3 years from now, they're going to have the one that's going to rival this in Dublin. That's going to be in 2012. In the meantime, though, we're here at the Multnomah Athletic Club, Portland, Oregon, Great Pacific Northwest. Friends, family members, and handball players all gathering to watch the games here. Men's round of 16, Emmett Peixoto winning the first one versus John IGLESIAS, 21-13. Now in the second game, he is up 7-3 here. The match coming up after this one, is that the Dave Chapman versus Michael Gregan? Trying to figure out what the show court schedule is.
Actually, yes, it will be Dave Chapman seated third here at this event. We'll be taking on Michael Gregan next.
And then I believe after that it's Owen Kennedy and Alan Garner, which the Dave Chapman match is going to pack the house.
I think all those packed fans are going to just remain seated for that incredibly anticipated showdown between
Score is 7 serves to 3.
the Bombshell and the Monument, Owen Kennedy. Emmett with a nice 1-2 punch there. Good serve down the left, follows it up with a fly kill. Pretty easy point there for Emmett. We haven't seen either of these players winning too many easy points here in this second game. Both guys retrieving a lot of balls. I don't think either guy too happy with their kills here in this second game. Neither Emmett nor John has been able to really flatten that ball out the way they'd like to with their setup opportunities.
Okay, score is 8 serves to 3.
8 serves 3.
Second serve. 8-3.
Nice return kill from John Iglesias, forcing the side out.
3 serves to 8.
3 serves 8.
Here's a serve we haven't seen yet from John. Emmett handles it pretty well.
John saying that Emmett stepped on his foot, but if anything, Emmett might have stepped on it while Emmett was shooting that ball, because that happened so quickly. I couldn't see how Emmett could pick up his foot and step on John.
He's knocking the glass there. Yellow jersey. You didn't see a contact. I didn't see it either. I didn't see it.
The line judge actually not really watching the line.
Actually, what Fergal doesn't know is that that's not an appealable call.
9 serves to 3.
That's the second time this match, Dave, we've seen Fergal appeal to his linesman on a hinder call or a contact call.
Get that! Go! Play ball!
You hear John trying to pump himself up. He can feel this game getting away from him just a little bit here. Emmett has all the momentum. Fergal's got to be careful here to not let John start calling this match.
Score is 10 serves to 3.
It's Fergal's responsibility to call the hinders, not the players.
It was Fergal's debut in big-time handball today, and then also his debut in the referee spot in big-time handball today.
11 serves to 3.
That young lad's going to be able to sleep well tonight. All the energy and excitement that been centered around him today.
Second serve. 11-3.
11-3, second serve, Emmett Peixoto, second game. John Iglesias returning that serve in the red shirt. Emmett in the black.
That's a bad call there from Fergal.
If I let you have it, you would have given up to me. You would have missed me. You were going to skip it if I let you have it. Redo. 11 serves to 3.
A little bit concerning there that Fergal doesn't even know that he made a terrible call. One thing to make a terrible call and accept it, and realize it. Emmett goes front wall, side wall there.
Another timeout call from John Iglesias. Score 12-3. Emmett Peixoto serving here. He won the first one 12-13.
Actually, we played at 21 here.
21-13. But it's at 12-3 right now is the score. He won 21-13 the first game. It was Paul Brady defeating Mike Finnegan earlier today in the first round of 16 match for the boys today, as you might say. And then Charlie Shanks over David Fink from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was Robbie McCarthy defeating Fergal Collins, and now this one here, the fourth round of 16 match as scheduled on the show court, Multnomah Athletic Club, brought to you by the United States Handball Association, World Handball Council, and streaming live over your computer at WePlayHandball.com from the WPH and Nifty TV. My name is Dave Vincent, Dave Fink to my left. Appreciate the fact that you took time from your cool down session which normally you spend a couple hours after a match and then go swim a few laps and do all those sit-ups, but decided to lend your voice before all of that.
Fight. 13. 13 serves 3.
Looks like that serve might have been short. We'll see if one of these guys appeals it after this rally.
Side out.
That's a tough ball to take off the back wall.
3 serves 13. John, that's a foot fault and a half right there, baby. Did you see that?
Fergal called that.
That was one of the best foot faults I've ever seen in my life.
3 serves 13.
3 to 13.
I don't know. I think Serena's foot fault might have been a little bit better.
That time you saw John start to come out in front of Emmett and decided to hold up a little bit. 3 to 13, 4 to 13 score.
That's a tough shot there that Emmett executes
Score is 13
with ease.
13 serves 4. I like that shot right there. Now you played in this court. How bad is hitting that front wall glass on a serve? It seems like every time a ball hits it, it doesn't make it over the short line. Is that true?
Well, I think it depends on how hard you hit the ball. I saw Robbie McCarthy hit that box a number of times, and it didn't seem to affect his ball at all on the serve. I know I was unable to get any serve across the line when it did hit that glass. A lot of it depends on the velocity and the spin that you hit your serve with, whether that ball is going to carry across the line or not. I think for the harder hitters, it doesn't make much of a difference. I think, Dave, if you went out there to hit your hooks and you were hitting that glass, you'd find that a lot of your balls would come up short. Tougher to hit a slower hook and hit that glass and get it across the line than it is to hit a real bullet.
Score here is 4 serves 14. Multnomah Athletic Club World Handball Championships, brought to you by the United States Handball Association, World Handball Council, and Waterford Crystal. Streaming live on your computer. Nifty TV helping us out, as well as the WPH at WePlayHandball.com. John Iglesias serving second game. Emmett won the first one, 21 to 13. That had to hurt.
I think Emmett was a little unhappy that John crowded him so much on that shot. John actually backed up just about 2 feet from Emmett. Actually could have been called an avoidable. John took away both sides of the court there. That's the tendency, though, Dave, when you serve that ball off the floor and in the left side wall back wall, your tendency is to start backing up. That's a bad serve there from John. John just a half a step slow here in the middle of this second game. That's a ball that he picked up in the first game pretty easily.
That was a screen.
It's a nice fly kill there from Emmett. Looks like you have to go into that left corner there with the ball coming at that angle from the front wall, left side wall. John anticipating that ball going into the left corner. Emmett was able to change the direction of that ball and drive it straight off the middle of the front wall and kill it.
15 serves 4. You just have to make perfect shots against Emmett Peixoto. Contact there, though.
Looked like a questionable call there. That ball slid straight down the sidewall. I don't know if John had a chance at that ball. John giving it his all here. He's doing everything he can to stay in this match.
16-4, calling timeout. It's the Waterford Crystal 2009 World Handball Championships from the Multnomah Athletic Club, casually called the MAC, here in Portland, Oregon, the Great Pacific Northwest, alongside Dave Fink, Jeff Castor. My name is Dave Vincent. World Handball Council putting this all together and doing a great job. Waterford Crystal, main sponsor, Columbia Sportswear, United States Handball Association, and World Players of Handball doing the live feed alongside Nifty TV and that special little downloadable video skin that you're able to watch this match on and all the other matches from the show court here. We have the ability to toggle up and watch one-wall action upstairs. And hopefully we'll be able to do some live webcasts with some of the big ball matches that come up a little later on.
Okay.
That was John's third and final timeout this game. He's going to be unable to stop the clock, as we say, for the remainder of this second game.
We lost our scoreboard, 4 serves 16, and it's Emmett Peixoto that's serving, and that was a nice move from John IGLESIAS, who almost got a free serve out of that. 16 serves 4, Emmett Peixoto.
You hear some grumbling from hundreds of handball fans who are unable to see that scoreboard now. It's a great feature here for the fans.
17 serves 4.
Serving 4. Looks like Emmett pretty close to setting up a quarterfinal clash with Ireland's Robbie McCarthy.
18 serves to 4.
It's now 19-4, 2 points away, and Emmett Peixoto will move on to the next round. Nice serve right there from Emmett.
John's really lost all the momentum here. Emmett just one more point from reaching the quarterfinals here. He'll have to wait, though. John IGLESIAS gets in to serve.
Emmett Peixoto got in a couple days early and immediately went to bed. He said that he was experiencing some of those same symptoms that Sean Linning had. Said that he was sick for the first couple days. Now it looks like he's feeling pretty good. I saw him cough there, and it kind of triggered. I go, you know what? He was sick a couple days ago. He wouldn't even get out of bed.
Well, Emmett is known for being a bit of a hypochondriac.
There's a side out.
20 serves to 5.
Nice get from John IGLESIAS.
And that's it. That was a 2 bounce. John calls it. And Emmett advances.
Emmett now going to the quarterfinals to face Robbie McCarthy tomorrow. Charlie Shanks is going to play Paul Brady tomorrow. And now we have the lower bracket to take care of as we move our way down the round of 16. We're going to have more action coming up in just a few for Jeff Kastner and Dave Fink. My name is Dave Vincent. You are watching the 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships, brought to you by the United States Handball Association, the World Handball Council, and streaming live to your computer from WePlayHandball.com, World Players of Handball. We'll be back with more action in just a few. You stick with